Zikz, dude, what is up, man? You're looking good. You're feeling good. Talk to me, bro.
I don't know. It was like a lot easier than I expected it to be. I mean, obviously, I didn't have to like pause it all. They only got 10 rounds total. So I would say overall, insane win from us. I mean, it's just one of those days where you just have a guy on your team that's dropping an absolute nuke, plus 32 from cryocells over the series. And, you know, honestly, plus 32 and you have to think it's how many rounds? Like 36 rounds? Plus 32? Like, that is incredible. Like, that kind of thing doesn't happen very often. So I'll sit back and I'll take my win for free.
From what I heard, I think I was talking to Boosty last week, and he was saying about how like, y'all are in the lab grinding and working to make sure y'all are up on your homework on every single team. So what kind of time and work are you putting in on that, Zikz?
It's a lot, honestly. It is like a crazy amount of work. I'd say, well, our team overall, we're a team of grinders for sure. Like when I say, like I'll be like, maybe we could take like an off day or we do like a remote day or something. They're just like, oh, I'm down to just come in and scrim anyway. So we haven't had an off day in I think about 3 weeks now. Oof. So we've been going absolutely ham. I will say the pace of all the prep is gonna have to speed up because obviously we play tomorrow. So we're gonna have to, you know, figure out pretty much how we want to play against Leviathan. But honestly, when it comes down to it, like our anti-stratting is mostly like I'll say style. It's style based and understanding like certain things that are 100%, and we don't go much further than that. We're not like doing some crazy antis every single time. It's just things that are easy to apply. We can still focus on our game plan so that if we are now in this situation where we play day by day by day by day, that we're still able to do about the same level of prep that we do for every other team. We just won't have the time to get in the server and really like present it, I guess.
So was the win against Loud today, was that a lot of anti, or was that letting Cryo just fry them every single round that he possibly could?
I'll say it was a combination. I mean, I would say primarily a lot of this was form for sure. But we obviously played very, very well collectively as a team. And there was moments where our antis like paid out. Like a lot of us understanding like how they're working the map, this kind of thing, or rounds that they've played before and what that looks like and how we can be ready for it. We were really, really ready for almost everything that they did. Outside of like the bonus on bind caught us off guard a bit. Thankfully, we were able to recover the 4th round. But you know, whenever you get bonus, it's like a little bit scary. So I was thinking, I was like, ooh, it might be a doozy of a day, you know, but fortunately we were able to turn it around and really, you know, cut the snake's head off there and just push past that. So, yeah, it was a good mix, but honestly, so much really good team play, really good individual form. You just can't beat that. No, you cannot, especially moving into like from the past couple of weeks, right? You're looking at the past 3 weeks on its own, which you guys have reached, you know, like new height after height after height. It's continued to evolve overall as a team. I want to talk about 2 things there. Number one, with y'all on the team, so I want to talk a bit about what you've done to talk to these players about transforming them. I know you mentioned about, you know, talking to them previously about, you know, you guys have to like raise your ceilings and then like not letting get things too out of hand. But then also on their end, I also imagine you've had to evolve yourself for what you're looking at with these teammates and how you're, you know, like able to grow this squad to at the fearsome level they're at now. Yeah, I mean, I would say after our kickoff performance, obviously we had by far the hardest kickoff group. And hardest test, I guess, out the gate. I had talked to all the players individually on a one-on-one and kind of gave them like very clear goals of like what I need to see them improve on before the split starts for us to be, you know, a top tier team. And I'll say, you know, for each individual player, they knocked it out of the park entirely. Pete's was a lot about his confidence. You know, I mean, when so many people are saying fucked up things permanently about you and your level of play and this kind of thing, it's really hard to like maintain that level of confidence. So me and him worked a lot on that. For Sean and Dan, there was a lot of moments where they a bit too tunnel visioned on their own individual self, that they can't kind of see how they can get teammates involved in what they're doing. That sense has been, you know, amazing. Both of them understand very clearly when they should go for individual fights versus when they should make sure they're coordinating with people that are near them. Both of them absolutely blew that out of the park. Boosty was, at times a bit too he's a funny guy. He likes to poke fun at people. I did notice, you know, it was affecting people's confidence at times. So something that we needed to like get on the same page about, like what things you should confront versus what things, you know, you should just like try to gas your teammates up, get them a bit more understanding basically of what they're doing that's right. Positive feedback is like a super important thing. And that was something I worked on a lot with him, was just making sure he's empowering his teammates, which once again, he's done a much better job at kind of bringing that level of empowerment up within the team. And then missing one more, Matt, cryo cells.
There you go.
Cryo cells, I mean, I'll say for his sake, man, I mean, it's especially because he played lights out today. In my one-on-one with him, a lot of it was about how he communicates. Obviously, he's like a silent jet player. He's like running around, killing everybody, having fun, but not really saying too much. But we have him on multiple characters now on multiple different maps, right? So we need him to be a bit more active in comms. And we worked on his comms a lot. We got him to feel a lot more free, especially on his jet maps. He's actually, maybe people don't actually know this, but he is our defensive caller on all of the jet maps.
Oh.
Like we kind of mix up our defensive caller based on like, I guess who's most comfortable on the map, if that makes sense, or who needs to be most mobile on the map. So like Pete's calling the defense on a few maps, Matt's calling defense on a few maps, because you know you want to let your opper essentially like be as free as possible, and that we'll build around it. You know what I mean? So it's very important that I think a lot of teams do this, to be honest. Like I don't think it's like too crazy of a concept, but he's been absolutely lights out when it comes to that, and knowing what kind of support he needs to be able to get a pick. And honestly, he's one of the best jets in the game, if not the best jet in the game right now when it comes to defensive opping. He just knows exactly what the enemy team is doing, how they take space, and he's just punishing every single time. So just an absolute pleasure to work with, and just has done a great job at working on everything that me and him have talked about individually.
You guys now also have, although not the easiest road ahead either, too, where you're facing up against some of your ex-teammates tomorrow too, where you got Lev and you got Calm as well on the other side waiting for you, and of course the Demon Ospas, which, you know, it's gonna be a fun time to watch.
Yeah, we're gonna pit our jet guy against their jet guy, and I'm pretty sure we'll come out on top. I'll just say that, especially if we play at the level we played today. We're like, I'm not kidding, we're the best team in the world if we play at this level consistently. And that's just what it comes down to.
It's funny because both Boosie and you have said is that you guys have mechanically the best players in NA together on a squad, which I know you heartily believe, and I find it is hard to kind of drive against, especially after a performance like today. Now, is that just inherent talent for y'all, or do you find there's just more there?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's just like when you watch them aim, you just know, you know what I mean? Like Sean has a very unique aiming style. His micro flicks are like by far the best in the world. I'm talking about Bang. Like if he is at a close angle, he is never losing this fight. Like never. He is too fast. It looks like he's cheating, unironically. Matt has like a very cerebral brain, perfectly understanding what the gaps are and how to abuse it. And that's just like amazing by him. And also he just has incredible aim. Even when he's rifling, he looks incredible, as it shows in the Brim game. Just running around like a Terminator, just pow, pow, just taking people out. So it's like, what can you really do, you know? Like, I mean, I just look at how they aim, and I just know if I get these guys in comfortable situations where they're able to take a 50-50, I'm gonna let them do that every day of the week. Yeah. Because I know it's like we have the best aimers. Why would I tell them to not go fight, you know? I'm just gonna let them do what is comfortable, what they think will get them a kill, and just hands off, you know? Oh,
going on a bit onto you as well. What I wanted to dive into is like I've been looking at, as you mentioned, you know, I do recognize your work from League as well. What I was curious about, the highs you managed to reach in NA League of Legends versus the highs you reached here. Not actually here, you won a championship, but there, you know, you've taken NA LCS to a brand new height. How would you compare the two, or would you find they're just two different feelings?
I'd say like the 2016 MSI finals, that was pretty crazy. I won't lie. Like that moment, I like knew, I was like, wow, that is like crazy history. I mean, I will say my perspective of League is like, man, it is so impossible. Like, to give the context about MSI, it was the perfect storm. The way I've always seen League is like, you play to your identity. If your identity is perfect for the patch, like you just have all the you know, top 3 characters are your best characters, then that team is probably winning Worlds.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, obviously if they're Korean or Chinese team. So for us at that time, it was like, it's finally our time, you know? It's like we had perfect storm, like top 3 characters that were viable were all in our top 3 across the entire board. And we played well to, you know, what they're supposed to do. So kind of like, that was like one of the biggest points for me in understanding how important identity was. Because I was like, damn, like if we hit this perfect of a storm scenario in terms of identity and it takes us this far, that's like insane, you know? I mean, I compare the two. They're definitely different, but that was like one of the most important lessons for sure in terms of understanding the rest of my path in esports. That like I already know my #1 focus it's identity. Every time I come into any split, any team, anything, it's always identity. Be honest about your identity, follow through with your identity, and keep pushing it as far as you can push it. And you know, if the patch doesn't go your way, it doesn't go your way. It's unlucky, you know. Yeah. But right now, you know, our comps are a bit different because we do what we can to support our identity, and it's been working for us, honestly. Some maps, you know, people are going to say this character's not very good on this map or something like this, but if it's what I feel is best for our identity, I'm pushing the noise away, and I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. That's kind of the mindset that victory gave me, and I think with our champs roster last year as well, that same theme like followed through. Play to the identity. Both victories obviously very, very impactful in my life, but honestly both felt insane, I'll be honest. but that lesson, I'll say, carries my entire journey throughout esports.
The sentiment there on both ends is that the faithful shall be rewarded, and for those who have stayed true to 100 Thieves, I find finally they're getting their way. Final question for you as well, man. As Nashok keeps saying that we welcome all bandwagoners, whether you joined today or joined last year. How you feeling on that in terms of the fans hopping on, finally looking at 100 Thieves as real contenders?
I mean, I'm gonna keep it honest. I mean, I've always known we were going to be a top team. Look at the players, man. Like, that's all I really have to say. Yeah. As long as you get these guys working together, you get them doing like just playing their normal game of Valorant, how they like to play it, they will play lights out. These guys are incredible aimers. Like everybody, if anybody thinks about who's the best smokes player, they're gonna say Ben. Who's the best defensive operator? They're gonna say Cryocell. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, we have some, you know, people that we brought in this year. Boosties, obviously. Last year's the best IGL. You know what I mean? Dan was one of the best, absolute best initiators. Definitely the best aiming initiator coming out of tier 2. So, you know, Pete, absolutely insane raise player. Everybody on this team is insane. They're one of the best entry players in the world. I mean, what Pete does, honestly, is absurd. Like, nobody else in this game would ever double satchel out, no util, and full setup our whole team to win the round. And we've thrown him into impossible scenarios multiple times where somehow he ends up getting 1 or 2. And it's just no other player in the game would do it in his spot. That's all I'm saying. Yep. So we have insane players across the board, and as long as we were able to bring them together in a way that makes them comfortable playing the game, then we were always going to be successful. And I knew that coming in. Yeah. And we see it now as everybody else, man. Good luck tomorrow against Lev. I cannot wait. Zikz, thank you, man. That was incredible. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.